What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm your host, Anton Daniels. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What happened at Little Caesars? What happened at Little Caesars? What's going on, friends? Family? I see y'all in the chat. What up, though? Prediction. Rod on Politics says his prediction. Let's go by Rod's prediction. Someone will complain about AD being late. He will crash out, resulting in a derailment show. So y'all think y'all know me? You think you know me, huh? All right. Well, you may have a little bit of a surprise today, or this week, or for the rest of our lives. What's going on, friends? How y'all feel? It is Monday. New month, new year, new money, new opportunity. Monday, June 2nd, 2025, year of our Lord. We are almost a half a year in, and some of y'all are a little bit slow, and the rest of us has been really productive. And so when you look back on this year, what do you think? When you look back on a half a year, you got to do these spot checks. You got to do spot checks in your life. You got to start um you when I pay people to do jobs, right? Doesn't matter whether they're a developer, as far as a web developer, it doesn't matter if they're a contractor, with regard to a property. In most instances, especially if I don't know you or it's the first time that I've ever worked with you, we do this thing and we the best day to set it up, right? Because like I was talking to a lady across the street from a property that I was developing, and I'm hopefully can get that blog edited and released for y'all today because we got a Patreon live stream today. So that is in the Patreon. The link to the live stream is in the Patreon. All right. Um, and she was saying that she needed a painter for the outside of her house, and she said she couldn't trust anybody. And so if I had any good recommendations and all of that, and I had some recommendations, but I didn't have them on me at the time. So I was just like, oh, I don't really know anybody. You know, I don't feel like dealing with it, to be honest with you. And and so she was asking me for recommendations or whatever. But one of the reasons why people don't trust people is because they don't do business with them the right way. Well, Anton, what do you mean? You got to set it up with milestone payments. What's up, Mika? I got Mika coming in this weekend. We gonna hang out and see what it do. We gonna do what it do. You got to create milestones, right? Milestone payments. So it's a security blanket. It incentivizes people to get the job done right and efficient, while at the same time, it allows for you to feel a little bit more secure about your investment. So obviously you got to vet to make sure that the person is what they are, and you go from there, but then you create a milestone, right? So let's say, for example, you got a painter or you got a contractor or whatever, and you got 4 different phases of the job. The beginning to get started, and then 2 in the middle, and then 1 in the final payment in the end. Well, that's where you align your contract for milestone payments. Hey, when you get started, this is how much you need to get started, buying materials, whatever, so on and so forth. And then once you hit 25% or 33%, you release another payment to them. Once you hit 66%, you release another payment to them. Once they finish the job completely, then you release another payment to them. And that's how you know people is about their business. So, and that's once you start to establish relationships with people, then you could just, hey, listen, go ahead and get started, and then I'm gonna pay you after. Most of the time, people just say pay me afterwards. So, what's up, Mika? What up, everybody? Rod in the building. What's going on? Rod, I do have something that I want to address. And again, beginning of the month is the best time to join the Patreon, so make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. We got an interesting show today. I'm trying some new stuff. So you may not notice the subtleties or certain things that's happening, but we gon' modify the show shortly. Should I read the super chats first? Sure, let's do a couple super chats and then we'll get into the show. I want to address something for my dog Rod on politics really quickly. Why they asking me that? Don't ask me that. Shout out to my dog Mike that dude. I appreciate you, Mike that dude, for holding it down. I also want to talk to my dog Eric Wealth Harris. Eric Wealth Harris says, "Good morning, AD. Molly is so fine and gorgeous." He said Molly's so fine and gorgeous. However, Friday night show made me realize she's more attractive when her mouth is closed. I learned to listen to her on mute. She has been off lately. I love you, Molly. So, Eric, let me ask you a question. Eric. Because this kind of feeds into what I'm about to say, right? How conducive was that, Eric? You paid to say something negative to Molly when you probably could have just said something to her in the chat. I don't know if she's not here yet or whatever like that. But how productive was that? I don't understand. It's almost like people can't understand the entertainment aspect of content creation. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ever met her in real life or met her in person, I think you would have a completely different perspective. And let me be honest, I don't think that most of y'all is really not going anyway. If she said in person, hey, listen, I like you, you cute or whatever, y'all not going to be sitting there denying her, acting like something is wrong. I don't understand it. I honestly don't understand it. Why would you say that? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Which kind of leads me to my point is that we have a tale of extremes that's happening on the internet right now. There's a tale of extremes happening on the internet. Let me tell you where it is. On one side of the fence, you have an extreme group of people, men and women, that's saying, oh, pitchforks, hate you, right? The women are saying, they hate this, they hate that. Oh my God, I can't believe you. I can't believe you said this. And then the guys on the other hand is like, oh man, I'm angry at you. I don't like you or whatever. And I understand the entertainment part of it, right? The entertainment part is you put on a show, you find your favorite villain, you see the person that you like, you see the person that you don't like, and then you go from there and then you have your opinion or you form your opinion. The problem a lot of times is everybody is on some Me Too type moment, but we'll get there shortly. But then you have the people on the other side of the fence. And those are the extreme people on the left. And those are, oh my God, I can't believe it. And those are the panderers or whatever, so on and so forth, right? And I don't think that you should be any of that. I just think that people should be objective. Again, I understand the entertainment aspect of it. Miss Crow T. Shetty says people are coming. Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to be a little bit more mindful of that, to be honest with y'all. I am. Um, I'll address that shortly, Miss Crotty Shetty. But here's the thing that I am seeing, and it's a trend. There's a trend of men pandering to women. Now, you don't have to be angry at women in order to be objective about them. But at the same time, the other extreme is that people are pandering like crazy. It is popular. The panderers have moved away from YouTube as far as what I can see. There is an exodus of people pandering on YouTube, and that is left. But they are still doing it on Instagram. They are still doing it on Facebook. And the platform that they're doing it the most on is TikTok. Women have short memories. Women love short form content. It's very difficult to get unproductive women to pay attention and sit down for a long enough time. And once they start scrolling on here, it just goes left. So what they've done is they've taken TikTok from the children, because TikTok initially was a platform that was for younger people. And the younger people was on there doing dances. They was on that Vine type stuff. It was some stuff. It was like the kids are the ones that made it cool, right? The people that were under 18, under 17, under 16. When I even the name TikTok, right? TikTok sounds like a child's game. It sounds like something that was made for kids. So the kids was all on there and they was getting it in and they was taking care of business. And then one woman jumped on there and the other woman jumped on there and they said, "Oh, I want to take over." And so they pushed all of the kids out. Now the kids is out doing something different. And all of the women has decided that they wanted to go on TikTok. And they over there begging for money. They having kids out of wedlock and they say, "Oh, come with me with my 7 kids as we get evicted." And then they put their cash apps on there, or they say, "Oh, I want to pay pig." And so now you see the panderers are moving over there in mass. They don't have no movement over here on YouTube, because YouTube, you can actually figure out what people are like, because this is more of a long form platform. On TikTok, they over there just flocking, and the pandering is out of control. There is no balance. There's no middle line. I seen a guy come on there this morning, before I jumped on the motorcycle, because I rode my motorcycle into the office today. I seen a guy today saying the same old talking points. He says, yeah, man, I don't understand. It's like these guys, I don't know why y'all feel like y'all hate women so much. You know? It's and then you come for us because we hate you for hating women. And you know what I think it is? I think it's that you couldn't get the girls that you wanted, and so now you won't hear hating the women. And it's like, it's so sickening. All right, let me just educate y'all for a second. This is not weird science from the 80s. This is not Revenge of the Nerds. This is not any of that, right? For a long time, dudes that are intelligent, dudes that whatever, so on and so forth, they can get any woman they want. And if they can't, then they can go buy some box. It's not hard to get box. For whatever reason, the panderers are using this narrative that's saying that it's difficult for guys, or it be the nerdiest looking dudes on. "Oh, I can't believe it. You couldn't get the girl you wanted." Nobody that I know personally has ever, since middle school, let's be very clear, since middle school, no guy that I know has ever had problems getting box. If anything, they had boxolitis. All right? They had boxolitis. But you'll get some rando. It'll be in a comment on here on YouTube. It'll be some guy that picks up his phone. "Yeah, it's just crazy out here." They'll pick up their stuff on YouTube. You're good. They just disrespect women because they couldn't get the woman that they like. Man, bruh. I promise you. you're not going to get any more box because of your simping and pandering. Nothing. Now, there's two different demographics of men that are pandering, though, right? This is what I've noticed. I've studied this over the last couple of weeks. There's two different types of guys that pander, all right? The first demographic of guy is pandering for likes. He wants the visibility. He get a dopamine hit. You know, the women is in the comments. Tell him, sir. I seen a guy over this past week that just passed. He said that a woman gave him herpes. This is an honest to God truth. I did a review video on my other channel. He said that a woman gave him herpes. And he was pissed at the men. He was loving the woman. You know, I understand. You know, it was what it was. That's my fault for getting herpes from her. He said, but he was mad at the men for saying, hey, they need to expose her. He needs to expose her and just tell the truth. If she's walking around giving men herpes and she knows about it, but she's not saying anything about it, he needs to say something about it. Why come on here and tell a story about how you got herpes by some random woman, but you don't want? This guy was on there pandering so hard. Huh, what makes you think this woman would even mess with you? She messed with me. What makes you think she would mess? First of all, nobody wants to get with a chick that knowingly has herpes. All right, that's number one. Number two, the simping. And when you go through the comments was like, this is the type of man that protects women. And I'm like, come on, ladies, y'all can't be falling for the okie doke again. You can't be falling for this. No way in hell do you believe that these guys even believe what they saying. I seen a guy that I checked on this platform a couple years ago. He reinvented himself, and now he's over there pandering. He literally labels himself a panderer, and women go for it. And, I mean, on the likes, but not in real life, right? Because we know in real life, you still awkward. All of these guys that's pandering, in real life, they're still awkward. They're not even outside. Super typers. Super typers. I ran into a lot of people this weekend. A whole lot of people this weekend. I walk down the street. I catch the bus. I'm out in the streets. I meet people in traffic. I meet people at the gas station. Jumped off the train late at night. Having a good time, talking to people on a regular basis. I meet people every day. This is what I know for sure. One thing is for certain. Two things is for sure. The panderers, they freeze up in person. They freeze up in person. It's crazy. Stop pandering. The other group of guys is looking to get monetized. But let me tell you what the problem is with that. It's unsustainable. It's unsustainable. Eventually, you're going to show your true colors. The girl that you with or the girl that you got with back in the day, she going to come back and do a story time about you. How do you beat her ass, right? At some point, they're going to realize that you on the sex offenders list. You're going to do something dumb and get arrested, and then they're going to say, oh, man, somebody going to do a 12-part breakdown on you. It's unsustainable. The thing that I tell people the most, and this is a very, very important key for content creation. I got a content creation live stream on Patreon tonight. Bro, I have a tap into the Patreon. The best time to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month. I got a content creation live stream on how you guys can accelerate the growth of your platforms and monetize and make a bag. All right. On all platforms. I'm going to give you the exact strategy I would do if I was starting today. Or for those of you that are in 1,000 view or 1,000 subscriber purgatory, or you less than 1,000, or you up to 10,000 or something, but you're not making the type of money, we gonna have a real conversation. I'm gonna give y'all every single thing that I think that y'all should do tonight. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. We live streaming tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. The link is already in the Patreon. It's already posted. All right. After that, I will also post the actual location tonight of the meetup on the 28th of June. Okay. But it's better to be authentically yourself. It doesn't matter what you are. It doesn't matter if you're a nerd. Don't matter if you're a real one, whatever. Be authentically what you are. And the reason why it's always better to be authentically what you are is because A, is sustainable forever. You'll never have to worry about it getting exposed for something that you're not. That's why I live my life like an open book. My number one rule when I came into the game is that whatever it was that I am and whatever I evolved into, that's what I was going to authentically be. If people don't like the fact that I curse, but then I say that I love God or I love Jesus, then that's just a problem. It is what it is. But the beautiful thing about being authentic is that you can't say I'm not what I said I was. You may not agree with me. You may be disappointed, but you absolutely, positively can't turn away because it doesn't remove the fact that I'm entertaining, right? And so you may love to hate me. You may hate to love me. Whatever it is, you're never going to come back and say, I knew it. Yep, I'm exactly what I said I was. Toxic masculinity and all. I am so toxic. I'm so toxic. I am. I'm a very toxic person, according to what the internet standards are. Now, I tend to think that that's just being a man. You know, we like to break things. We go, we experiment. You know, we figure it out with this, tinker with this engine. We tinker with that engine. We go and buy this. Oh, man, go get into a crash a bike and then get back up and then go and buy another one. That's just what we are. Our curiosity got the best of us. We got to touch the fire and see what's going on. I don't think that that's being toxic. I think that that's just being a man. It is what it is. But I'm authentic and I don't have to pander. I will never pander to a woman in order to try to get some visibility on the internet. It's unsustainable. And here's the key. And I tell this to people all the time. There's 9 billion people on this earth. What does that mean? That means that you don't have to pander. Y'all acting like it's only 100,000 people across the internet altogether. No, you will find your tribe. There are people that do Pokemon cards online and they have a huge following. I gave some ideas to some people and I'm not going to give it out today because they reemphasize that they're going to implement it and they're going to do it. And it's completely a different niche. It's some people that's some car reviewers. It's some people that like to just get into electronics. It's some people that actually, you know, want to document the married life or they recently got divorced. Whatever it is, just be authentically you. Your tribe will find you. You don't have to. You can do it based off of your expertise in your profession. I know a guy that is really great because he talks about how much money he makes being in skilled trades and being an electrician, right? So there's so many different ways to generate revenue. You don't have to go into the relationship space and think that you got to pander to women in order for you to get a bag. Stop. I don't know if it's just my algorithm. I don't know what the heck is going on, but there is so many guys. And here's another one that I see a lot too. Yeah, man, the reason with men that don't listen to Deontay Kyle, I didn't even know who Deontay Kyle was until the last 2 or 3 weeks. I see guys getting on there more than women. You know, men, we understand. I haven't even listened to the Deontay Kyle podcast yet. I want to review his content and I want to see what he's talking about, but I can't because every time I get on the internet, I see some guys saying, yeah, man, the reason with guys that don't agree with Deontay Kyle is because, you know, we understand. We're the problem. Ladies, we apologize. I apologize on behalf of all men because I have to say, it's a guy whose niche. It is a guy whose niche is, his whole layout is, I am working 4 jobs so that the woman that I marry will never have to work again. And he have his security uniform on, and then it's another guy that he delivers pizzas and he pays his wife don't do nothing, but she ain't got nothing to do. And he does his Domino's pizza and he works a regular job. And I'm delivering pizzas to make sure that and I say, are y'all falling for this? Are y'all falling for this? No way. No way. No way. No way y'all going for this. And then I seen a guy respond in the comments and he did a response video and said, get out of my comments if you're going to be toxic towards women. We don't do that over here, sir. I'm telling you, bro. Listen, be authentically you. And here's the worst part about it. She's still going to go and bust it down for a real one for the guy that she like. Not you. Not you. For the dude that she chose, let me tell you about toxic guys, okay? And I don't think that they're toxic because there's nothing toxic about masculinity. But let me tell you about men that they label that these other guys are calling toxic. They're the problem. They never gonna stop getting boxed. They don't stop getting play. They always gonna be richer than you. They always gonna be more successful, and they always gonna be winners in life. Masculinity, no matter how much femininity y'all push, no matter how much diversity, equity, inclusion, it's always gonna be in style. It's always gonna hit in real life. When we cut this computer off and we go on a live stream and I'm about to get into the show, masculinity is always gonna be in style. You know why? Because she always gonna really want somebody to tell her to sit down, shut the fuck up. I got this. Get out of my way. What you doing? You think learning her love languages and doing all of this, you know what? She loves words of affection and gifts of appreciation. Hey, take them clothes off. I don't even talk. I just get into bed. I just start pulling panties down. This show gonna be a little different. It's gonna be a little different. I just start pulling. What's that? What you got? What you doing? Something new? You got a nightgown on? Get that nightgown up. I ain't sitting. It's always gonna be in style. Winners win. Winners win and losers lose. It just is what it is. You can rebrand. You can try to get some likes for the algorithm. You can do whatever you want to say. For all of the women that watch this, for all of the women that say, Anton, I hope you get divorced or I don't like you or whatever, she going. In real life, she going. You can't imagine how many pictures I took with dudes, girls, and they took the picture. Check me out. They tagging me on Instagram. They tagged me on Facebook. You won't imagine. And the dude or the one that took the picture. Oh my God, I watch you every day. I said, where y'all going? Honest to God, on my daughter's life. I said, where y'all? I was walking out the gas station. I ain't even have no car. I had caught the train. Where y'all going? Oh, we about to go out to dinner. Yeah. Can we take a picture? I say, yeah. I do my pose. Can I get one with you by yourself? Here, babe, take it with my phone. It's the same thing. It don't matter. It don't matter. Don't matter what I say, how toxic I am, what it is that I'm going to do. Winners win and losers lose. And I've been winning my whole life. And there's a lot of guys in this chat that can relate to it. It's a lot of guys in this chat that can relate to it. We just winners. It just is what it is. It don't matter how much you pander. Don't matter how much women say that they're going to decenter men. It just is what it is. And it ain't your fault. That's just the way God made it. So you can join the winning team and you can adjust, or you can keep on trying to do it for likes for the algorithm, but it's not going to translate into nothing meaningful in real life. Man, don't hold on, wait. Y'all not gonna stop y'all girl from taking no picture. She gonna take a picture anyway, whether it's with you or without you. It's easy to find me on the gram, and you know I'm in the city. Hey, I didn't get a chance to say nothing to you. Listen, you could either do it, just take the picture for her, show some security, or she gonna hit me up. I went to my, hey, I heard you doing, I heard you said that you wanted to give us a tour of the studio. Yeah, I feel you. Okay. You can come through. You can come through. Now you want you take the picture, dog. Yeah, I'm doing a tour Tuesdays. Tour Tuesdays. They know how to find me. They know how to find me. Anyways, make sure I hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel. I thought that would be a great way to open up a Monday show, right? Are y'all not a part of the Patreon? We got a live stream tonight. Let's get this money, all right? Make sure I hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats. You're not stopping nothing. Chris Mayberry says, I saw an old video where you said if you make less than $1 or $2 million a year, if you made less than $1 or $2 million a year, you no longer have the bag chasers on the Patreon. Is this the same sentiment? Do you change that number? How do you maintain that mindset? Wait. What? If you make less than $1 to $2 million a year, you no longer have the bag chasers Patreon. Well, I'm way past that though. Way past that, so I don't even know what it is. Do you change that number? How do you maintain that mindset? Money is automatic, to be honest with you. Like, I believe that when you love it, Saturday I went out and I partied and I went to my cousin's thing. And then I came back to the studio. I worked all day Saturday. I left out, caught the train. That's why I had no car. I went and bought the new Navigator, all right? So I went and bought the Nav. It's incredible. I don't even know if I got no pictures in this phone for y'all. I went and bought the Nav. It's incredible. I was riding it. You know what I'm saying? Riding it all weekend. So I went and picked up the new Nav. It's beautiful. Went and picked up the new Nav. I'm going to drop it on the vlog for y'all. And then I went right back to work. And I worked here from 6 a.m. Saturday till 2 a.m. the next day. I just love this. The figuring out how to monetize it is just a skill set. So I'm a hustler. I just grind. I grind. I love the process. It's not even about the money at this point anymore. Alicia says, my husband and I are 24 and 25. We have one son and expecting another. He's Army and we're planning on buying our first investment property. Any advice? I can give you a bunch of advice on buying an investment property. One of the problems that you have in though is, are you stable? Are you stable in the area that you in? Your first investment property should probably be, well, first of all, always stay in the middle class income. It's easier to move the property. Gosh, you about to make me do a whole masterclass. Here, let me just give you a couple tips and a couple pointers. Always invest the money back into the property. Try to pay it off as soon as possible. Don't buy the property until you have at least 20% down so you can avoid PMI. Always stay within a $200,000 to $300,000 to $400,000 range of the property that you buy, simply because it's much easier to find a family that can afford it and move into it. And try to invest in areas that you are familiar with. Location. Do not invest in an area that may be up and coming. Invest in an area that is already taken care of. All right. Shout out to you and good luck with that. Steven Slayer 1 says, facts. Greg Charlie says, yo, Anton, if you remember 2 years ago, you and I had a conversation about the UAW strikes and everything that was going on at the time. I'm proud to say that after 12 years at the Warren Stamping Plant, I'm moving into my new career. I like that. Shout out to Greg. Congratulations, my friend. Greg Charlie says, I am moving on into my career in HVAC and also taking on a new position in the Detroit Public Health and Safe. And I just wanted to say thank you for all of the info, and I hope to see you around the city soon. Man, I love that. Don't wait for them to lay you off. Don't wait for them to lay you off. Don't wait till they have a slowdown. Don't wait till there's some tariffs. Don't wait for none of that. Congratulations, Greg. I love that, bro. Nate says, if every dollar has interest on it, how can the U.S. ever pay off the debt? If we took every dollar and gave back the principal, where would the money for the interest come from? Interest is only paid. Okay, I'm gonna need you to write that a little bit better. Number one, so we'll get that together. But number two, interest is only paid on the money that you still owe. So, for example, if you finance something, a lot of y'all got student loans, a lot of y'all have properties, a lot of y'all have credit cards, interest is paid on the balance. All right. So, for example, if you have a $10,000 loan or a $100,000 loan and you finance it for 5 years, the reason that you're paying so much interest up front in the payment that you finance is because it's all front loaded, because until you can get the balance down, then you're going to be paying the interest on the money. So basically what I'm telling you is that the less money you owe, which is why we have to pay the principal, the less you pay in interest. The less money you owe, the less you pay in interest. All right. Let me see if I can get a couple more in here. We're gonna go ahead and get started with the show. Yo, Barbara Riley says, can I get prayers up for my mom as she goes into surgery this morning? Lord, come on behalf of my guy Riley and intercede. Continue to go forth. Be the guide the surgeon's hands. Continue to make it be an easier situation for him and bless him not to worry and understand that everything is in your hands. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you, man. Eric Wells says, bet she won't needs to be a t-shirt for the I Choose You tour with the Michael Jordan crying face. Shout out to you. Carrington Love says, you have been funny as hell lately, Anton, for real. I love that love language bit is funny. Bless the brother. Anton heating up. Oh, we cooking. Bilderberg boy says, good morning, AD. Did you see LeVar Ball lost his leg? Freaked me out. Health is what? Yeah, he lost his leg a while ago. Diabetic. I went through with AI this weekend and I developed a more healthier. I always go through with AI every month and I develop a healthier meal plan. And I realized that very few foods actually have sugar in it. Very few foods have sugar in it. Even all fruits have, even if they have low in sugar. AI taught me a lot this weekend. I was just deep diving. Even if they have a very low amount of sugar, fruits, all fruit, especially here in the United States of America, all have sugar, whether it's natural sugar or that high fructose corn syrup stuff that be in all of y'all foods. Listen, if you want to eat a product that don't have sugar in it, this is what AI taught me. And y'all can confirm it into the chat today, all right? If it's meats, stay away from anything that douses it. All of the marinade, all of the barbecue sauce, the A1s, the ketchups, all of that stuff, anything that gives the meat flavor outside of regular salt, pepper, that type of stuff, anything that does anything more to it is then going to start giving you, that's what, you spike your sugar. Fruits, all of them has some form of natural sugar in it, unless you get berries. Berries are the best fruit to eat with no sugar in it, all right? Number 3, boiled eggs with no yolk. So boiled egg whites. If you want to eat something that is high in protein, give you a lot of protein, boiled egg whites with no extra, nothing on it. Put a little bit of pepper on it maybe if you want to. Boiled egg whites, all right? It'll get you right. And vegetables like asparagus, broccoli with no extra stuff on it. So when they douse it with all of the butters and all of that stuff, that is the stuff that then mess you up. So basically you have to eat it raw. You can sear it, you can cook it, you can do whatever. But if you've learned to adjust your taste buds and you pretty much eat the vegetables that you eat and the meats that you eat, if you pretty much just if you want to cook it, but you don't want to add nothing to it, then you can completely eliminate the sugar that's in your diet. So, broccoli, asparagus. Tell me if AI is wrong. I did a Patreon with Dr. Yaki. He did too. Now, I'm not saying that fruit is bad for you. What I am saying is that it is natural sugar in it. So if you are already diabetic, it can spike your blood sugar. All right? That is correct. So you just got to educate yourself. You got to avocado was good, all of that. You got to educate yourself. You don't want to get your leg cut off. All right? All right? Yeah, man. James says, good morning, AD. My bad, missing a few morning shows. I pray many blessings. Shower upon AD. Everybody on After Hours, Back Chasers, and everyone in the chat. Shout out to y'all. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Let me read a couple more. Najee says, what up, Anton? Proud to say I've been following you for a couple years now. Just accepted a new IT role with a big bag on the West Coast, trying to be like you, boss. You getting there. Run that bag up. Now we need to make sure we minimize how much we spending. Don't raise your lifestyle. She going. Tech via Tony. She going. Anyways, yeah, you can't out-train a bad diet. You're absolutely right. But all of that stuff, that preservatives, cereals, all of that junk that's on the cold cereals, all of that, man, get rid of all that crap. Pop-Tarts, all of that, just get rid of it. You'll feel way better. You might have a sugar crash initially, but you'll start to feel way better. Your taste buds will adjust, and you'll be back to normal. You can fix almost every single thing wrong with you by changing the way that you eat. Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel with turning your notifications. Let's start over here, right? There's a Colorado attacker that's facing murder charges after throwing Molotov cocktails on people. They say that he Egyptian. Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel with turning your notifications. Let's deep dive into it, y'all.
Good morning, Carly and Todd. The FBI says this began as a peaceful event on Sunday. A group of people in Boulder had been marching at a pedestrian mall calling for the release of Israeli hostages in Gaza. Then police say 45-year-old Mohammed Sabri Soliman from El Paso set people on fire with that makeshift flamethrower. Video shows the smoke and people screaming. Authorities say 8 people were hurt, 4 women and 4 men between the ages of 52 and 88.
Witnesses are reporting that the subject used a makeshift flamethrower and threw an incendiary device into the crowd. The suspect was heard to yell, "Free Palestine," during the attack. As a result of these preliminary facts, it is clear that this is a targeted act of violence, and the FBI is investigating this as an act of terrorism.
DHS and ICE sources tell our Bill Malusian Soliman entered the U.S. in August 2022 with a non-immigrant visa. He was authorized to stay until February 2023, but he never left. On March 2023, he was given a work authorization visa under the Biden administration that was valid until just this past March. Reaction is now pouring in. Colorado Governor Jared Polis says hate is unacceptable in our Colorado for all, and I condemned this act of terror.
But will they condemn the fact that he's over here illegally? Will they condemn the fact that he's over here illegally? Came over here illegally, was able to stay over here illegally, and now his expiration date came due, and then he's out there burning people up. I wonder if the Democrats is going to take accountability for this one. I wonder if the Democrats are going to take accountability. See, look, Jared Polis, the one thing that Jared is not going to do, he's not going to say, yeah, Trump was right. Yeah, Trump was right. Every time. Protests ain't even the same as they used to be. Protests aren't even the same as they used to be. Y'all can get out there and protest if y'all want to. First of all, y'all wasting y'all time because ain't nothing happening with a protest. It doesn't mean anything is going to change whatsoever. It just means that you got too much time on your hands and you ain't got enough to do. That's number one. Number two, now you in danger because you might go out there and protest and get a Molotov cocktail thrown on you by some crazy man that's saying free Palestine.
House Speaker Mike Johnson posted on X, terrorist sympathizers have made it clear they will do anything to try and silence the Jewish people and those who support Israel. We cannot and will not let them win. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer weighed in too, adding, anti-Semitism, plain and simple, has no place in America. I am praying for the victims' recovery and am in touch with the FBI as we closely monitor the situation. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says this, the anti-Semitic attacks around the world are a direct result of blood libels against the Jewish state and people, and this must be stopped. This has increased fears among the Jewish community. The NYPD, for instance, is increasing security around New York City's religious sites because of the attack. Carly and Todd.
Madeline Rivera, live for us this morning in Washington. Maddie, thank you. Let's bring in Hudson Institute senior fellow and national security analyst Rebecca Heinrichs. Rebecca, the suspect was here illegally after staying both his original visa and his work authorization. Simply put, he shouldn't have been here, and this was preventable, Rebecca.
He shouldn't have been here. He overstayed his visa, illegal immigrant, and he had jihadist sympathies. And remember, just a couple of weeks ago, we had another couple, a killer, believed that they were Jewish, and he was a communist. So we have a communist killing these individuals. Same thing, globalize the Intifada, free Palestine. And now here we have again a jihadist who has the same kind of sympathies, who overstayed his visa. Two different kinds of people with the same motivation, which is to kill the Jewish people.
Is there a means by which the national security apparatus could have caught this guy based upon his ideologies before he entered the U.S., if not for the Joe Biden era approach to letting everybody in this country who wanted to come in?
Well, it's hard to know at this point, but I'll say, the things that he was shouting right before he took action to kill these innocent elderly people, it's the same kind of thing that you hear on college campuses across the country. Globalize the Intifada. I mean, and this came on the heels, by the way, of what I believe really is a blood libel, where you had the media erroneously reporting that the Israelis were shooting on innocent civilians at a humanitarian checkpoint to get food. And so if you have false reporting that makes it seem as though the Israelis are the ones shooting on innocent people, of course, you should expect to have an incitement of violence when you can see these protests across the country from college campuses and abroad. So it's a tinderbox.
And along those lines, Rebecca, let's be crystal clear what this was. This was a public burning of Jews and their supporters on American soil. We use the phrase terror attack. That can mean a lot of things. We need to be crystal clear and specific as to ultimately what happened. And of course, this comes right after the execution of those two Israeli diplomats in Washington, D.C. How do we stop this escalation of terror now before it becomes something bigger?
Well, I think the first thing that we have to do is to differentiate between what the First Amendment protects, which is just peaceful speech, even if you disagree with it. That's one kind of speech, but the other kind.
You can forget it, bro. If you think that people are going to abide by the law, hey, everybody got the right to protest as long as it's peaceful, you can forget it, bro. You can forget it. Some of the most unpeaceful people that I've ever seen in my entire life are the left. Real talk, honest to God. I have been to several different rallies. The most peaceful rally that I've ever been to in my entire life was actually a Trump rally. Now, I can't say that it was peaceful just because it was a Trump rally. I will say it's probably peaceful because I was a Republican, because I'm a conservative, right? But I didn't see anybody that was going crazy against other liberals out there. But maybe because I was a, African-American, Republican, conservative, they embraced me more. It's almost like I met some neighbors yesterday, right? And I was, messing around outside. I just so happened to be home on a Sunday because my brother flew in from out of town. And all of the white people. So, of course, I live in an all-white neighborhood, right? And they come over because they never met me before. But some of them follow my content. And so they come over and they it's like they feel relieved. Hey, man, I seen when you was doing this. I seen you built this house from scratch. Yeah, we kind of snuck over. It's a great build and all of this stuff. And then eventually they let us see about, yeah, man, I'm conservative just like you. And then I think to myself, well, how do you know that I'm conservative? And then, oh, yeah, I follow them. I was telling them about you. And so if you're, look, the most popular thing to be in society today, I know y'all not going to hear me. I know y'all not going to rock with it. But I'm telling you, if you want to be a rock star and you a black man, become a Republican. If you want to be a rock star and you a black man, become a Republican. They love us. There is nothing more attractive to a snow bunny than a black Republican. I know y'all think that y'all know. I know you think you know. All of y'all I want to make sure I'm around people that look like me. And we're going to get back to the story. I want to be around people that look like me. Look, if you a black male Republican, you are a rock star. You might as well be on stage talking. Walk out there as a Republican. Oh, hey, what's going on, man? How's it going? No, man, we can't wait to invite you over. Man, I never got so many invites yesterday. Yeah, we coming over. We got this whole thing coming over. No, hey, they brought the babies over. Honest to God. Hey, this is my baby. Let me show you my baby. Like, oh, yeah? Ah, that's straight. That's cool. Man brought his father out. I put the TV on and he just watches you all the time. He had Alzheimer's. I mean, not Alzheimer's. What is that? Carpal tunnel? Whatever. His hands didn't work as well. I just gave him a pat on the back. Good job. You could be extra aggressive with them. Hey, guys, shake them a little bit. They be practically offering their wives to you. They will practically hey, this is Susie. Oh, man, she loves you. Susie come over there. She talk a little bit too much. Yeah, this is my second husband. This is my second husband. And my last husband, when he passed away, I got the property. And they told me all about their property taxes, that they've been born and raised and been living in the same place the whole time. I only pay, because I'm grandfathered in, $1,700 a year in process. $1,700, Susie. She said, $1,700. Come on over. I just built the new deck. We're going to be down at the lake. We got lake access. We're down at the lake this weekend. Next weekend, all summer, we're barbecuing. I said, okay. I love it. They love us. And with good reason. Because we all think the same. And so this is what I try to tell people a lot of time is that you got to go where you appreciate it, not where you tolerate it, because it's our ideologies that bring us together. It's not our skin color. It's not the genders. It's not anything like that. It's not anything like that. Y'all think that people hate you because I'm going in here because they racist. Ain't nobody racist. Ain't nobody thinking about you. They trying to have a good old time. Come on down. Let's have a good time. Ain't nobody thinking about you. Nobody think. The only people that are miserable in this country at this point are racist people. Black people that are racist, white people that are racist. Most of the time, they're super poor. 98% of the time, listen, if you can find a man with a Klansman hoodie on, I guarantee you he going to be in them backwoods, probably doing something he's supposed to do, touching on himself at night. Black people that are racist are poor. White people that are racist are poor. They usually have the signs on them. People that are nice and cool and healthy, that are solidly middle class, they don't care. Nobody cares. They just don't want you coming in and messing up the neighborhood and playing the music extra loud. Have a good time, man. Have a good time. Nobody cares. Everybody rocks with everybody. You could like I'm joking right now, messing around. They could take a joke. Everybody is cool. Everybody is cool. But then you get these extremists over here, right? Because we shouldn't even be divided against this. People that overstay their welcome inside of the United States of America. People that are here illegally. Whether you're a liberal or whether you're a Democrat, whether you're conservative or whether you whatever. You should not have a problem with getting them up out of here, because this is what happens. I believe that racist black people and racist white people should all get together and just battle it out over in California. I think that they should all go to California and fight it out. Close California, let them have each other and see what happens. Racist black people and racist white people should all just go to California and fight it out and leave the rest of America to the rest of us. Leave it to the rest of us. We good.
And we do have some new video of the suspect that we do want to show you right now.
We're here, brother. We're here. We can't do nothing about that. We can't do nothing.
We can.
Not here.
You have to answer this.
Not here, bro.
You're not.
People are taking video right now. He was wearing an orange suit with like something on his back.
Spraying alcohol.
Spraying alcohol, but what he did was he made it look like he was here.
He's making Molotov cocktails.
Show them
Look at the rainbow flag. Look at the rainbow flag. If this picture right now, right here, right now, is not the most symbolic photo right here. I should have made this the cover photo if I'd have known this is what it was going to look like. If this is not the most symbolic picture right here, this screenshot right here, I don't know what is. A dude setting people on fire in front of a rainbow flag, saying free Palestine.
And for us,
Well, we can't do it when he's got Molotov cocktails on.
if you are fighting, you have to.
That's what he's got right here. Is Molotov cocktails.
Right there.
Alcohol.
We are killers.
Why is that close?
Just stay away. Just stay away. He's right there. He's throwing Molotov cocktails right there.
Get both of them.
So that is new video. You can see law enforcement.
How do these people survive? That's the part that I be trying. How do you burn up 8 people and then live to tell the tale about it? Facts, Eric D. And that's another thing. When you start to get violent, when you start to get belligerent, I heard there was a fight that broke out in Alabama between black people and white bikers. When you start to get violent, it just really sets your movement back. Then we just look at you as fools. How do you live to tell the tale? How do you live to tell the tale? I'm so confused, bro. So confused. Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel. I just wanted to kind of give y'all, well, let me go to this last video and see if it's any more that we need to mine out right here. Give me a second.
And Paul, you have talked tonight quite a lot about wanting to know about who this individual is, what about his travel, what about his background. And
Oh, I see my girl Molly is here. Molly, I'm gonna give you some insight. Eric Wealth Harris was talking negatively about you when you wasn't here. Yep, I'm gonna tell it. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and just put this down. I'm gonna tell it. Molly, Eric Wealth Harris has had negative things to say about you when you weren't here. He said you was beautiful and gorgeous, but you look better with your mouth closed, and he don't like the way you talk. He don't like what you say. He didn't say he didn't say he didn't like the way you talk. He said he didn't like what you say. Yep, we all family here, and I'm not gonna let you get away with it. Yep, I'm telling it. Eric Wealth Harris had something negative to say about you earlier in the show when you wasn't here, Molly. And now that you're here, yes, it was, Molly. A Dusty was hating on you. Yes. Yep, here, matter of fact, I earmarked it. No, don't say you love Molly now. Don't say you love Molly now. Nope. This is what he said. Let me show you, Molly. He super chatted it. He said, "Good morning, AD. Molly is so fine and gorgeous." Yeah. I'm gonna start telling it. Molly is so fine and gorgeous. However, Friday night show, she made me realize she's more attractive with her mouth closed. I learned to listen to her on mute. She has been off all day. I loved and pass. I loved you, Molly. That's what he paid for me to read out to everybody. Yep, that's what he said. When you wasn't here, he said that. He said it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to save that super chat because I know she here. I know she coming. She don't miss the show. And so I said, let me save that. So when I see her coming to the chat. No, listen, keep the same energy. Say it with your chest. Yep. Say it with your chest. Don't say you love her now. It's all love, Molly. No. Philip says this has got to be a form of simping. Call it what you want. Call it what you want. Keep the same energy. Say it to her. Don't say it to me. Don't try to say it to me. Say it to her. Now I'm wild. You the one that paid to say it. I'm wild. So I'm wild. They said, look, Graphic Goon says 8, Anton is dirty macking. I don't have the dirty mac. She already mines. What are you talking about? What you think? You think I got a dirty mac for a woman that already loves me and adores me? She adores me. I don't have to do anything. You can't dirty mac on something that you already got. It sounds funny, but it's true, right? Right? Stand on it. Stand on it. Don't say it to me. Don't say it to me and then don't say nothing about it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She already loved me. She already loved me. Now, if y'all gonna say something and if y'all gonna pay for it, then stand on it. He paid. See, if he would have just put it in the chat regular, I probably wouldn't even have seen it. But he paid for me to read it. And so I have to reread it to make sure that the person that he said it about knows about it. We all one big family in here. We all one big family. Oh, yeah. 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 That's what y'all get. Be careful what you type. Service USA says lots of hate watchers in here. Get the likes up. Shout out to my hate watchers. I appreciate it. DJ Ace Production says they're not going to like you after this stream. Ugh, we heard you talking about us. Yeah, they do. They always like me. Everybody loves me. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The one thing about people. People don't even believe that you like them unless you include them in making sure that you talk about them negatively. Think about it like this, and this is why you got to make sure that you cap on gay people. You got to cap on everybody. Everybody got to get to work. Because if I talk negatively or I say, hey, this person is this or this person is doing that, oh, you a sucker. They love it because people like to be chastised for the things when they know that you love them. But if I leave this person out over here and I don't say nothing, then they're going to feel like they've been neglected. No, you got to address that. People love it when you go off on them. People love it when you go off on them. It's not they feel like you love them. And I do love them. You're making my side hurt today? That's every day. Nahum says they'll give you their white card without even trying. They love you. They ask Quentin. Oh, there go Quentin right now. Says Molly a 10 with her mouth closed and like a 4 talk. See, that's why Quentin said I was snitching. Let me read this again. Quentin said Molly is a 10 with her mouth closed and like a 4 talking. All right, I had to make sure I read that. Nahum says, then when they are giving you a loan without a credit check, even though you got it. Series A 5274 says you're wrong about Andrew Tate. Don't believe he's innocent just because he preaches the same messages that conservatives preach. He's a manipulative liar. Did he bust your chick down? What proof do you have? James Reed says, yep, been a conservative since listening to the Rush Limbaugh during the Clinton years. Truly opened up my eyes. And yes, if you are a black conservative, more doors will open than you can ever imagine. That's a fact. That's a fact. Quinn says, Kim isn't yours. Yes, she is. She told me already. Kim already told me. She just sent me some pictures. Hey, Kim, what you doing right now? Yep. Just text Kim. These new pictures that Kim sent me is crazy. Crazy. Kim is so gorgeous, bro. Couldn't believe it. I said, girl, you done lost some weight or something? What's going on? What is happening? What is happening? I don't even want to show it to you because then you're going to get mad at me. Then you're going to get mad at me. Then you're going to be acting extra. Kim, why did you send those to Anton? They just cover photos, big dog. She didn't send me nothing personal. They just for the cover photos. I have to make sure that she was on the after hours cover photo. That's it. That's it. Just cover photos. You talk. Look, now you on the phone with her already. What you calling her for? What you calling her for? They just cover photos. Calm down. Calm down. Call me Mr. Bibb says good morning from the east side. I didn't like what she had to say either. Just because someone doesn't want to argue doesn't mean that they're gay. Joshua Daniels says, good day, Room 9. New Patreon member here. Already half was through 2021 biz. Got my crayons and a helmet. Ready to get after it. So I like that. I like that. Just sending the super chat to say, hey, what up, Jerry? Jerry, you coming to the meetup? You coming to kick it with me at the meetup in DC? I want to see you at the meetup in DC. Executive Suite MLE says Quentin punching in the air like Trey right now. Quentin don't even care. Quentin care, but he don't care when he care. Says she told me already. So svelte. Got that svelte vigor. You know what I'm saying? That svelte figure. Yeah, 2K gonna be on the cover too soon. Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's continue on with the show. We got a long show to do today, y'all. So we taking our time, we cooking. We not rushing. We don't have no time limit. I keep forgetting that I ain't got no job. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no real job anyway, so we might as well just take our time and cook. That's the conclusion that I came to the other day, is that I ain't got no job anyway, so what's the difference? Might as well take my time and express my thoughts authentically. That's the main change for the show. That's the main change for the show. Who you care about? Let me call. Let me find out what this is going on. Might have to make some phone calls. Who does Quentin like? Let me put it in the group chat. Anyone know who Quentin likes? Does anyone? No. Let me say that. Does anyone know what woman Quentin likes the most now? Text me on the side. All right. She don't care back though? Why she don't care back? Is it Mika? Is it Mika? Or is it Molly? I know you're scared of Carrie. And gotta be Mika or Molly. It's gotta be Mika or Molly. Process of elimination, because Kim, you talk to her every day. It's gotta be Mika or Molly. I don't know which one though. I gotta find out. I gotta find out. I gotta find out. Oh. Y'all think it's Molly? All right, so I might have to do a poll in the chat before we do a show on Tuesday. Do y'all think that Quentin, do y'all think that Quentin is in love with Mika or Molly? Oh, where's my girlfriend at? Hold on, where you at? Oh. All right, I like it. Y'all know I'm about to do a content house. Is it both? I'm about to do a content house. I don't believe you, Quentin. I don't believe you. I'm about to do a content house, y'all. I just got to figure out how I can get them all in the same place for at least 2 weeks to 4 weeks. And I'm going to see which one make Quentin break. Let me see something. Before we move on to the next part of the show, let me see something. What is going on here? I'm learning so much today. Quentin! What is wrong with Quentin? Quentin, what is going on? I'm about to get some people together. There's my girl right there. What's up, Kim? What's up, Kim? The pictures is crazy that you sent to me. I said, "Ooh, I can't use this one. Not this one. Not this one, Kim. I can't use this one for the live stream. No, not this one. The one in the black dress? Yeah, I can't use that one. Black dress is crazy. It's crazy. Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. I'm going to be reading super chat shortly. That black dress is crazy, Kim. Anyways, let's continue on with the show. Republicans, we got to get into politics, y'all. Republicans are pushing back against Trump's tax bill in the Senate. And so it's a little bit of a hurdle in order to get it over. And it's largely because they think that more cuts should come and that we shouldn't continue to raise the national deficit. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's rock, y'all.
We turn now to a Senate update set to take up President Trump's massive spending bill this week, which is key to his agenda. But some Republican senators say they can't support the bill, which narrowly passed in the House. Our senior political correspondent, Rachel Scott, is at the White House for us. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, Rebecca, good morning to you. And you're right, this bill barely passed the House, and it will certainly face challenges in the Senate, where a handful of Republicans are already warning about the level of spending. Others back home at town halls confronted about the cuts. This morning, with pressure mounting to pass President Trump's signature spending bill, a handful of Republican senators signaling they are not on board.
I just can't support something that actually increases the deficit, and that is what's going to happen right now as the bill's currently written.
I don't want to raise the debt ceiling $5 trillion.
Well, the bill promises to slash federal spending by $1.5 trillion. By some estimates, it would add $3.8 trillion to the national deficit over the next 10 years. With cuts to food assistance and Medicaid, more than 8 million Americans projected to lose coverage, according to the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office. At town halls, Republicans confronted about those cuts. Iowa Senator Joni Ernst heckled and booed.
They are not eligible, so they will be coming off. So people are not, well, we all are going to die. So, for heaven's sakes.
After her response drew outrage, Ernst doubling down, posting this video standing near a cemetery.
I made an incorrect assumption that everyone in the auditorium understood that, yes, we are all going to perish from this earth.
The legislation pushed through the House by Republicans extends the 2017 Trump-era tax cuts, sets aside nearly $50 billion to resume construction on the border wall, and pushes work requirements for Medicaid.
They're cutting Medicaid, throwing 15 million people off their health care in order to fund a tax cut for the super wealthy and for corporations.
Now, of course, we all know that that's a lie, okay? So it's not a tax refund for the super wealthy and the corporations. Is to make sure, all right, number one, nobody is throwing anybody off. There's a lot of people that's not supposed to be on it. It's a lot of people that's not supposed to be on it. So to make the government, I hate the government so much. I really do. I genuinely hate the government so much. I hate the way that it's structured. I hate the way that it's ran. Even though we have the greatest country on earth, I believe that the government has become so bloated that it's almost impossible for us to actually get anything done in our lifetime, and it takes so long for us to actually be able to do something. I hate when Democrats say stuff like, oh, we have to go through with a scalpel instead of with a sledgehammer. No, the federal government exists to provide us with the structure that allows us to be a civilized society. That's it. That's it. All of this other stuff that we got going on, all of this other stuff that we're entitled to, Medicaid, Medicare, all of this, all of a sudden everybody deserves to have this level of health care coverage, even though they decided that they didn't want to work. Oh my God, we got to feed our seniors. So wait a minute. I'm going to be a little bit insensitive here, all right? I'm going to be a little bit insensitive. So you telling me, because I believe that the generation before me is the failed generation. The boomers, they should have did better. So you're telling me that just because this lady is older and she made bad decisions in her life, that I have to pay for it because I have to make sure that she has a comfortable life in her older age. Where they do that at? Yes, feed the seniors, says Linux Logic. Why? What? She can't go to the food pantry like everybody else? She can't go to the food pantry like everybody else. Bruh. I vigorously invest. As much as y'all see me having fun and enjoying life and all of this stuff, 90% of everything I take in has always gone towards making sure that nobody has to suffer as a result of me getting older. I tell y'all all the time, hey, invest in your 401k, invest in your future. But you know what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna neglect to do it, and then you gonna put yourself as you're gonna make the next generation pay to take care of you. And I'm not saying that we can't take care of them, but what I am saying is the sense of entitlement is disgusting to me. The sense of entitlement is disgusting. I think that we should be having lower taxes. I think that people should make sure that they fund their future. If we had more money in our pocket, then we can spend more money investing. You know what the problem is? Most people are not going to take care of themselves. So now we got to set it up to where you're going to get taken care of through taxpayer dollars. And so you got to have all of these programs to incentivize it. And then it's misspent by the federal government. And then we got to continue to fund Social Security that's not already funded, which makes it a Ponzi scheme. So now we got to rob the new generation so that we take care of you because the generation before you didn't invest in a future. Brian Shanklin says it's called being a good Christian. It's not. It's called being a sucker. It's called being a sucker. You don't get to tax me in and tell me, oh, I'm just making sure you're a good Christian. Man, suck my dick. I don't care what you talking about. You don't get to take my money and then tell me that you're going to make me a good Christian. What about all of the people that's not even Christian in the United States of America? Everybody don't even believe how I believe, but they still get taxed to death. Why? So we can get, you know how many people I scroll through on my timeline or how many emails that I go through of women saying, you don't get to take I can't believe they reducing food stamps. My 7 kids that I had out of well, I gotta eat. What about my kids? What you talking about? I don't owe your snotty nosed kids. I was very informed. I was very careful. I was okay with not even having kids. I almost didn't have a child. Why? Because I thought that it would be the responsible thing to do because I was selfish at the time. I wanted to have fun and I wanted to. So when I decided to have a child, I put what I wanted to do on the back burner for the next 16, 17 years until my daughter got old enough to be able to drive. And I focused 100% of my energy on her. And I only had one child because I wanted to make sure that she didn't have student loans and was out here looking dusty. That's called being responsible. You don't get to be irresponsible and then get the safety net and then you tell me that I got to be a good Christian. No, being a good Christian is getting the beam out of my own eye. Being a good Christian is getting the beam out of thine own eye. That is what being a good Christian is. It's not you forcing me, taking my money and then funding all of the government entities, making sure you got a bunch of administrative costs that you're stealing from. And then 10% of the money that we get taxed on actually go to whatever it is that we took it for. Roadrunner says, Anton, you getting comfortable with this language? I thought we was trying to get 30 million. Man, I don't care nothing about that money, man. I'm already rich. They offered me a bag already. It wasn't 30. Wasn't even close to 30, but it was a pretty significant bag. It was up there. And then they wanted equity in my show. And you know what I said? I ain't giving you nothing. You get zero equity, zero nothing. Anton, we see you doing 26, 27 million views a month combined with all of your platforms. Do you want to take over this? Hey, come and talk to us. No, you can't have no equity. Listen, if you taking the Mac, no. Because all you doing basically is giving me a loan on my show because I'm going to make way more long-term anyway. Care nothing about that. We're going to run it up on our own.
That is just fundamentally immoral. It's immoral and it's unethical.
The administration defending the package.
This bill will preserve and protect the programs, the social safety net, but it will make it much more common sense.
We want a percentage of your future profits for your show. No. Answer is no.
Leader John Thune is now racing to get this done by a July 4th deadline. He can only afford to lose 3 Republicans, guys.
And Rachel, late Friday, the president also announced new tariffs set to hit this week.
Yeah, the president announced he's now doubling tariffs on imported steel and aluminum, raising them from 25.
Oh, there go Malik, y'all. Hey, Malik is back. Malik is here. I told you. What did I tell y'all? I said they can't stay away. They don't even feel like you love them unless you hold them accountable. It doesn't even matter if they don't chat. It don't matter if they never posted in there. They're still subscribed. They still love you. They're still watching. And eventually they're going to show themselves. What up, Malik? Malik, listen, I know I went off on you on Thursday and Friday last week. I don't apologize, but I hope you feel better. What up, Malik? Malik is back, y'all. Malik says I need to be humbled. Don't matter what I say. They're not going away. They're not going anywhere. I promise you guys. All of y'all keep worrying, oh my God, what about if you're offending people? That make them want to come more. I promise you. I promise you. They're not going anywhere. They're going to be right here having a good time because there's no better show on the face of this earth outside of the Millionaire Morning Show, and that's a fact.
I'm a no unless we separate out the debt ceiling. If you take the debt ceiling off the bill, I'm pretty much a yes on most of the rest of the bill.
But let's live in reality for a second. We're running $2 trillion deficits. If we follow the path of the House bill, we'll have close to, I think, $60 trillion worth of debt in 10 years. Okay? The American taxpayer has said they don't want to give us higher taxes. They don't like the taxes we have now. They're not giving us more money. Well,
you saying Malik came back for Pride Month? Malik! Hey, Malik, I got a part of the show just for you. I got a part prepared for the show. I was going to use it as an alternative just in case I didn't want to talk about this other subject. But now that you're here, Malik, stick around. So let me see. I'm going to tell you what part of the show is for you. The sixth subject. So we're going to go over to Rand Paul. We're going to talk about the housing market and what's happening over in LA. And then I got the section for you. It's about the trans winning the Cali State Championship. And the funding is down 45% for Pride Month in places like Atlanta. So that part, I'm going to include you in it. I want you to participate in it. You know, the chat is my co-host for the show, Malik. Again, we're going to go Rand Paul because we got to talk about this big, beautiful bill. We're going to go to housing market, and then we're going to go over to trans winning the state championship and funding is down. That's your section. And then after that, we're going to go into a whole nother part of the show. All right, let's continue. Welcome back, Malik.
what we've got to do is do what every family does. We've got to go through every line in the budget.
And that is Senator Rand Paul on Capitol Hill and Senator Rick Scott with me on Mornings with Maria this week, voicing concern with President Trump's big, beautiful bill, already passed by the House, currently in the Senate, which the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget says will add roughly $3 trillion to the national debt, including interest over the next decade.
Reading Super Chat
saying
shortly.
they
Make sure y'all
cannot
tap
vote
into the
for this
Patreon.
bill in its current form. And this weekend at the Reagan National Economic Forum, I spoke with J.P. Morgan Chase Chairman and CEO Jamie Dimon, who told me interest rates will spike and markets will get disrupted once investors realize the impact of rising debt levels. Watch.
How much are you focused on debt and deficits right now?
It's a big deal. You know, it is a real problem, but one day we're going to have the bond market's going to have a tough time. I don't know if it's 6 months or 6 years.
What do you mean bond market will crack? What does that mean?
But the public has to understand is that something like $30 trillion of securities trades every day. These are investors around the world. Foreigners own $35 trillion of American securities. They have, another $30 trillion of private investments in the United States or something like that in the United States. People vote with their feet. And they're going to be looking at the country, the rule of law, the inflation rates, the central bank policies, what they want to hedge and what they don't want to hedge. And so those rates aren't set by central banks. They can affect them. If people decide that the U.S. dollar isn't the place to be, yeah, you could see, spreads gap out, credit spreads gap out, and that will become a problem. We had that during COVID. The Fed properly stepped in then. We had that in 2019. We had it in 2020. It will happen again.
And the rest of that interview tomorrow morning on Fox Business, as my next guest is voicing a similar sentiment, calling for a return to pre-pandemic spending levels and looking to separate the president's agenda into two bills with some of the president's campaign promises, such as no tax on tips, Social Security, and overtime, dealt with in a second bill later in the year. Joining me now in this Sunday Morning Futures exclusive is Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. Senator, thanks so much for being here. Have you been able to identify more areas to cut?
Good morning, Maria. Well, first of all, let me say I'm a big supporter of President Trump. I know Rand Paul is. I know Rick Scott is. We all want to see him succeed. But at the same time, I sprang out of the Tea Party movement, campaigning in 2010, doing parades, shouting, "This is a fight for freedom. We're mortgaging our children's future. It's wrong. It's immoral. It has to stop." We were $14 trillion in debt then. Now we're $37 trillion. And I think what is disappointing to me about the debate that went through the House, if you even call it that, we weren't looking at the facts and figures. The only figure we ever heard about was $1.5 trillion. Sounds like a lot, but when you put it in context of the $89 trillion we're going to spend over the next 20 years, the $22 trillion in additional deficit we're going to incur, that's $2.2 trillion per year deficit. I mean, it's completely unsustainable. I agree with Jamie Dimon here. This is something we have to take a look at. So, again, from my standpoint, I want to see the president succeed. I want to take a tax increase, an automatic tax increase off the table as soon as possible. All this could have been done. The border funding, take an automatic tax increase off the table. I think we have to deal with the debt ceiling. But again, I don't want to just do $5 trillion. I'm happy to give the president, increase the debt ceiling for 1 year so we can come back and get serious about returning to a pre-pandemic level spending, because right now, based on the House bill, it doesn't look like anybody is.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree with everything that he just said. I love Trump. Everybody knows I love Trump. I agree with him probably on 98% of almost all issues. But we have to. And this isn't even for us, because I know that we sit and we complain, oh man, we got to make sure that we keep inflation down, housing market, prices, all of that stuff. Whatever it is going to happen. For most of us, we've already set our path for what our life is going to be. The problem is that we do not leave this earth in a better state had we not been here. So the one thing that we can't have, even though these little ugly ducklings, your kids, your kids, Malik's kids, Bonquisha and them, Bonquisha and them is not going to appreciate it. They don't appreciate the fact that they have the ability to vote. They don't even show up at the polls. In the urban community, the voter turnout rate is abysmal. Regularly, I get people during election season telling me how it's not even that important. I don't care. My vote don't even matter. People literally died, and they were dying saying on their last breath, at least Bonquisha will be able to vote and determine the fate of our future children. And when they passed away, they thought you was going to have their best interest at heart. And you know what you did? You took your freedom and you broke up your household. You did a lot of things. I don't want to go off the rails. My point is that the people today are unappreciative, and they still asking for more stuff when they had the freedom to do what they want to do more than ever before. And so we know this. We know that the next generation and the generations after we long gone, they're not going to appreciate the sacrifice that we made to try to make sure that their lives are better and to leave this earth in a better space, and all of the hate and getting called out of our names and all of that stuff. They not going to appreciate it, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't do it anyway. Still got to do it. The same way Jesus gave his life. The same way that Jesus gave his life, that's the way that we got to leave this earth. We got to leave the United States better. So when you think about this budget deficit and you think about the exploding debt that we're paying over $1 to $2 trillion a year in interest on, we got to solve for that. Now, I am very similar. I believe that it's okay. It is okay to raise the deficit 1 year, just one. Anything more than that, that's problematic. Anything more than that is problematic. You can't raise the debt ceiling. You can't raise it every single year, because that is the thing that we were complaining about all of these years when it came to Democrats running it, but at the same time continuing to run us in a budget deficit while giving away all of our money. Why do we bring in a Department of Government Efficiency? Shouldn't they be done with their job next year? Well, I think that all of that stuff should be taken into consideration. Everything needs to be taken into consideration. I'm okay with it being raised for 1 year. Year 3, 4, and 5, year 2, 3, and 4, and all of the years after that, we should be running at a surplus, and we got to balance the budget. We have to balance the budget. I believe in that one-time stimulus and making sure that we stimulate the economy. We give people what they need in order to be successful. We give these businesses the incentives to open up more plants inside of the United States. And then after that, we got to balance the budget. We can't just have a blank check forever. The people that come after us is going to be mad at us. They're going to say, oh man, the millennials and the Gen Zs, they all did us dirty. You got to solve for that. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. All right. Let me read some of these super chats. And then I want to go over to Rand Paul And then I think we head over to Malik's section. I love Trump. Q got PTSD from pictures. Chill, AD. Shout out to Corey P. Quentin says, I care about somebody else. Quentin is actually bipolar. Dr. Anton is diagnosing Quentin as bipolar. Just a Brown Girl in America says, hey, AD, hope your weekend was awesome. I can't wait to go to St. Louis. I'm looking for a guide. Says she don't care back, though. Quentin is the Drake of the After Hours show. Quentin is Drizzy. Quizzy is in the building. Shout out to my dog Quizzy. Quentin Quizzy is in the building. Says, I'm not in love with my coworkers. Okay, all right, Quizzy. All right, Quizzy. I see you, big dog. If I'm not working overseas, I'll see about making it to DC. All right. Yes, Anton is a doctor now. All right. I am doctor. Yeah, see, we got to get that balanced budget. Got to get that balanced budget, see. Got to get it. They call me Mr. Bibbs. Says, I'm a 54-year-old man, lived in Detroit all of my life. No one has ever held me back but me taking accountability for your action. Quit blaming other people. Facts. Just a Brown Girl in America says, Mika. She love Mika. You love Mika? We all love Mika. Just Christian says, I think he loves them both like Milli Vanilli. I'm in love with two girls. I think we got Quentin all wrong. I think we got him wrong. Is that content house going to be like the Black Lives Matter content house? It's going to be big. It's going to be big. All right, so let me tell y'all what my idea is. It's not like y'all going to do it anyway because ain't nobody got the type of money to be able to pull something off and make that capital investment. You got to have the infrastructure, the money, and you got to be able to pull it off with the right people. Here's my idea, all right? The goal, and I think I'm going to wind up doing it next year because it'll give me more time. It'll give the other people more time to prepare so that, grown folks. It's not like Streamers University. Actually, I've been talking about this way before Kai and I. Maybe Kai stole my idea. It's not like the young people. The young folks, they don't care because they ain't got no obligations. They ain't got no responsibilities. They ain't got no wives, husbands, and none of that stuff, right? But if you give people like a year to prepare, then that means that people are going to be ready. So my idea is to keep everybody in the same house, maybe get an 8-10 bedroom crib, bring in a private chef, bring in a personal chef to cook every day, bring in a camera crew, and just go. Private chef, camera crew, cleaners. Everybody get their own suite, their own room, and then we see what happens. See what people really living like. I have been talking about it for a while. And then, bring in a couple guests, a couple visitors. And see what happens. Let's see what happens. Yep, like the Real World on MTV. That's what I want to do. I think that's how I'm going to play it. No, it ain't going to be no university because it ain't going to be no teaching. It's just going to be living and having a good time and partying and see what's happening. You love that for me, Keisha? I think it could be a great thing. I don't know if people's households is going to survive, but I think it could be a great thing. Oh, people always want to take my shine. People always want to take my shine. Kai's been doing it for years. I'm talking about grown folks with real lives. Grown folks. All right? It's going to be crazy, though. It's going to be crazy. Let me make sure I read the super chat shortly. Make sure I hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Let's go over to Rand. Rand Paul is talking about rejecting Trump's tax bill. Possibly rejecting Trump's tax bill. Let's see what he got to say.
And we go now to Republican Senator Rand Paul, who joins us from Lexington, Kentucky this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Margaret.
You just heard the Treasury Secretary say a number of things, dismiss the potential price increases that could come from the tariffs when it comes to retailers. He also played down the cost of this tax and border bill that just passed through the House. Do you agree with his math?
Well, the math doesn't really add up. One of the things this big and beautiful bill is it's a vehicle for increasing spending for the military and for the border. It's about $320 billion in new spending. To put that in perspective, that's more than all the DOGE cuts that we found so far. So the increase in spending put into this bill exceeds the DOGE cuts. When you look just at the border wall, they have $46.5 billion for the border wall. Well, their current estimate from the CBP is $6.5 million per mile. So if you did 1,000 miles, that's $6.5 billion, but they have $46 billion. So they've inflated the cost of the wall 8-fold. So there's a lot of new spending that has to be counteracted. But essentially, this is a bill by the military industrial complex advocates who are padding the military budget. There's going to be a lot of extra money. Look, the president has essentially stopped the border flow without new money and without any new legislation. So I think they're asking for too much money. And in the end, the way you add it up to see if it actually is going to save money or add money is how much debt are they going to borrow? $5 trillion over 2 years. It's an enormous amount.
Right. That was the number that the...
I like Rand. Rand seems like one of the very few politicians from all of the things that I've observed, and I've reviewed different things that he said before. Rand seems like one of the most realistic people, conservatives, that you can think of. And I agree with him. Again, I don't think that you need that much money for the border bill or for the border walls. I'm not even sure. All right, so here's a question that I got. I know it's going to be a controversial question, and don't feel no type of way about it. Let's just have the conversation. All right. Do we need to spend that much money on the border wall? Honestly, remove your bias. Don't worry about what everybody gonna think about you inside of the chat. Be open to the conversation. Do we need to spend that amount of money on a border wall? Marcus says Rand is a rhino. So you think he's a Republican in name only? I don't think that he's a Republican in name only. There's nothing that he said that actually doesn't make sense. If we've already stopped, for the most part, the flow of migrants into the United States of America, why do we need to spend an egregious amount in order to continue to build a border wall? I believe that we should build a border wall. I just don't agree that it should cost that much. Everybody is saying no. Everybody is saying, Mika is saying yes and no. I'm a fan for making sure that we secure our border because that is the way in which a lot of drugs and all of these things, illegal migrants, trafficking, it all happens at the border. The problem is that I just don't believe that we should have to spend that much money as a result of it. I don't want to borrow no more money.
The secretary was quibbling over. The president has taken note of some of your skepticism, and he did tweet yesterday saying that if you, Rand Paul, vote against his massive border and tax bill, the people of Kentucky will never forgive you. Do you consider that a threat? And do you know if you have 3 other Republicans who will join you to block it from passage?
I had a very good conversation with the president this week about tariffs. He did most of the talking, and we don't agree exactly on the outcome. But when I come home to Kentucky, I talk to the Farm Bureau, which is opposed to the tariffs. I talk to the bourbon industry, which is opposed to the tariffs. I talk to the cargo companies, UPS, DHL, all of their pilots are opposed to it. I talk to the hardwood floor people. I talk to the people selling houses, building houses. I have no organized business interest in Kentucky for the tariffs. So I think it's worth the discussion, and it's worth people remembering that the Republicans used to be for lower taxes. Tariffs are a tax. So if you raise taxes on the private sector, that's not good for the private sector.
I disagree with Rand on that. See, you can agree. We back yet? Sorry about that. A tariff gives Trump more negotiating power to allow for him to make sure that he negotiates better trade deals. So it was one point at time in which most of what was happening in the United States of America was paid by tariffs. It was not paid by taxpayers. Okay? It was not paid by taxpayers. It was paid by tariffs. We shouldn't be taxed the way that we are taxed because we never really see taxes go down. We have to make sure that we tax other people. Let's continue.
We hear from other senators who also get complaints from their people in their districts, but they're falling in line. Do you have 3 other Republicans who will stand with you to block this bill?
I think there are 4 of us at this point, and I would be very surprised if the bill at least is not modified in a good direction. Look, I want to vote for it. I'm for the tax cuts. I've voted for the tax cuts before. I want the tax cuts to be permanent. But at the same time, I don't want to raise the debt ceiling $5 trillion. So I've told her if you take the debt ceiling off the bill, in all likelihood, I can vote for what the agreement is on the rest of the bill, and it doesn't have to be perfect to my liking, but I can't be. If I vote for the $5 trillion debt, who's left in Washington that cares about the debt? We will have lost. But the GOP will own the debt once they vote for this.
But
we have to make sure that we get our budget balanced. Again, if we only if we increase the deficit for 1 year by like $1 or $2 trillion, that's one thing. But doing it every single year is just unsustainable. It's unsustainable.
The leader, as you know, is sort of in a tight spot here. He needs a vehicle to raise that debt ceiling. Otherwise, you had to turn to Democrats to get that done. What was the White House response when you asked that to the president?
Well, historically, the debt ceiling's always gone up and will always go up, and I'm not proposing that it doesn't. But the people who should vote for it are the people who vote for the spending. Historically, all the Democrats vote for raising the debt ceiling, and about 15 big government Republicans vote for it. This will be the first time it's voted on just by Republicans. This will be the first time that Republicans own the debt. They already own the spending. In March, we continued, not me, but most Republicans voted to continue the Biden spending levels. So you remember the campaign, everybody's talking about Bidenomics and Biden inflation and Biden spending levels. Well, the Republicans all voted to keep the Biden spending levels, and that's why the deficit this year is going to be $2.2 trillion this year.
So you think this is bad politics for Republicans? Some of your Republican colleagues like Josh Hawley are saying that changes to Medicaid are bad politics for America's working people and for your party.
I think it was a bad strategy. I think the tax cuts are good for the economy. When we passed the tax cuts in 2017, the economy grew like gangbusters. We had lowest unemployment historically. It was the great achievement of Trump's first administration. They should have been satisfied by just doing the tax part of this and not getting involved into the debt part of it.
The last time you were with us in March, you talked about conversations you had with Elon Musk. As you know, he's just left his work with the administration. You had proposed a rescission request, a clawback of about $500 billion from money Congress had already signed off on. We know now that the White House is going to ask Congress this week for some rescissions. Sounds like it's just $9.4 billion, and it's PBS, it's NPR, and it's foreign aid. Is this really the best strategy, and do you think 51 Republican senators are on board with it?
First of all, I will vote for spending cuts. The more the better. This is very, very small. To put it in perspective, if the deficit this year is $2.2 trillion, if you cut $9 billion, the deficit's going to be $2.191 trillion. It really doesn't materially change the course of the country. We should do it by all means, and it is the low-hanging fruit. This is the money that was pointed out that was being spent for sex change operations in Guatemala, trans opera in Colombia, all this crazy spending. Yes, it should be cut.
Sesame Street.
But I had an amendment about a month. Excuse me?
It's Sesame Street. It's PBS and NPR.
Yeah, and I think, you're right. We'll see if there's the votes to cut it. I don't think we necessarily need government program anymore. We have so many choices on the internet and so many choices on television. But my preference has always been in the past to cut a little bit of everything rather than cut a lot of something. So what I've done in the past is propose a penny plan budget where we cut a certain percentage of everything, but it includes entitlements or it doesn't really work. Once you exclude the entitlements, there isn't enough money to cut. So you can never achieve balance by not looking at the entitlements.
The budget director on another program this morning said they may not need to use this rescission, this clawback, because the White House has other tools. Do you think they need to go through Congress? Is this overstepping?
Well, Well, they absolutely have to use the rescission, and it is done by simple majority, by Republicans only. There is no filibuster of it, so it's a great tool to cut spending. If they don't use it, it'll be a huge wasted opportunity. But I will tell you, they tried in the first Trump administration. It wasn't their fault. They sent a tiny one, $16 billion, and it failed because 2 Republicans went the other way. So we'll see what happens on this. But if we can't even cut welfare that we're giving to other countries, if we can't cut foreign aid, welfare, I feel bad for the country. You know, interest rates are rising. We're having trouble selling our debt. We've got a lot of problems.
Yeah, we got to make sure that we reduce the deficit 100%. I'm 100% in support of that. We got to have a balanced budget. At some point, we got to have a surplus, even if we don't necessarily agree. And I think that the foundations of how the nation is operating today started during the Bush and the Clinton administration, as far as them selling off the United States of America. But I can sit here and whine and I can complain about it as much as I want to. It doesn't change the circumstances. It doesn't change anything. We still have to solve for the problems, and we still got to tackle it. We could sit there and complain about it every single day. Oh, man, is this fault? Oh, man, they shipped jobs. Oh, man, they did all of this stuff. But it doesn't change what we are facing right now. And we have to, at some point in the very near future, we have to balance the budget. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me see what we got out here in these streets, man. Oh, man, you telling me I lost most of my super chats? Thank you to everybody that chatted. Thank you to everybody that contributes into the platform. Not Napoleon, but Napoleon says, I'm 33 in Atlanta studying real estate content creating. How do you study real estate content creating? Any advice on how I can find a mentor of your caliber? Thanks for all that you do. I appreciate it. Tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. I don't know how you study real estate and content creation. Like, you just got to cook. I'm doing a live stream tonight on content creation and monetizing the platform. Tap in. Patreon link is in the description. The best time to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month. Conflict Corner says, welder, father, husband from Chicago, been following for 3 years. Yes, I'm dusty. Working on it, Anton, for real. Love the tough love. Past years, I've been working on it. Goal in 1 year, I want to be in your content house. Why do you say you dusty? You're a welder? You're a father? You're a husband? Sound like you're a really good guy. But listen, keep pushing. If you saying that you got to push, you got to push. James says, AD, is it possible for the government to use military assets like the Army Corps of Engineers and the MOS tradesmen from all military services alongside contractors to have lower costs to build the border and other things? Historically, what I found is that the more that the government is in it, the more that it's going to cost. The more that the government is in it, the more that it's going to cost. Eric Wealth Harris says, yo, AD, you believed it's too money. What? You believed it's too much money going to the wall? Okay. I think whatever the cost is, just build the wall. My question is, if there be any money left from the project, could taxpayers get the money back? Nope. Nope. No. Money never comes back. Let me tell you something about this black hole that we call the government. Once you issue it out, it never, ever, ever, ever comes back. You know what the goal is for a lot of these places that be like, oh man, you know, I got this government contract or whatever. Do you know what the goal is? To make sure that they spend every dollar so that they can get a contract renewal next year and that they can justify how much that they got from the budget, from the government. Nobody ever gives money back. Nobody ever gives money back, ever. I appreciate the super chats. It looked like I missed some because when my connection dropped for like 20 seconds, 25 seconds, everything got kind of messed up. But nobody ever gives the money back, ever. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me see where we going after this one. Here? Let me see something. Rand Paul. Oh, let's talk about the housing market. Then we're going to go over to Malik's subject. Make sure you hit it right, AD right. Corporations cut costs to complete the project so it doesn't dig into their own profits. Facts. They're looking to be profitable. They're not looking to give more money back to the federal government. What you think, that they're going to be on top of things and they're going to take care of business? No, that's not how it works, big dog. People leaving the Los Angeles housing market and what's happening in the real estate market. Let's tap into this for 10 minutes, and then we're going to deep dive into it. Again, I appreciate everybody that support the platform. Also, make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life.
Well, we know that making it in the Bay can be difficult. Now data shows that many are leaving the Golden State for cheaper places.
Today in the Bay's Bob Riddell joining us.
What the f is going on here? Y'all see this? They got a giant, it looked like they found a 6'9" guy and a 5'2" woman. That looks crazy, the disproportionate size that they are. He got to be at least 6'9". And then they found a 5'1", a 5 foot woman. Look at the proportions of that. That's Shaq and Muggsy Bogues. And then they made them stand next to each other. And she pregnant. Look at his head to the screen. He almost at the top of the screen. He's almost at the top of the screen, fam. Oh, that's pretty good.
That many are leaving the Golden State for cheaper places.
Today in the Bay's Bob Riddell joining us live from the East Bay this morning. This is with that important information about migration out of California.
Egger, I seen your show. I was looking at your show over the weekend. I was looking at it. Good show. Congratulations, bro. I was checking you out.
All right, Bob, break it down for us.
Yeah, good morning to Marcus and Laura. When you look at all the major metropolitan areas here in the United States and where people are moving in and where people are moving out, California has 7 cities/regions where people are moving out. You can take a look at this list that we're putting up on your television screen there. This is data compiled by the Pods Moving and Storage Company, and as you can see, Los Angeles has the highest number of move-outs nationwide. We here in the Bay Area are ranked 2nd, San Diego ranked 5th. And this is...
That's pretty crazy, bro. I never thought that in my life I would be having a conversation about how annually people are running away from California. I remember a time where it was big to go over to California, to run out to Los Angeles, to even get a job. Sometimes there was a lot of jobs. It was a lot of jobs in engineers, technology, everything related to like that. I remember I had got the invite to actually go out to California and get a job, and I said, no, it's a little bit too expensive out there. It didn't make sense. When I did the math, the cost of living, it just didn't make sense. The weather wasn't enough. I went and visited California a few times. The weather just wasn't enough. I couldn't make sense of it. I couldn't make sense of it. It's some people that move over to California and they say, oh man, I couldn't deal with the weather. You know, I couldn't deal with whatever it is. I couldn't deal with that or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't deal with it, bro. I can't. The cost of living as a person that is incredibly, I would like to think that I'm really successful, right? I just couldn't deal with the cost of living. Now we understand San Francisco. San Francisco is one of the sassiest places on earth. San Francisco was sassy way before Atlanta, so they got that crown. South Florida, a lot of people are leaving South Florida. What did I tell y'all about real estate in South Florida? What did I tell y'all about real estate in South Florida? What did I say years ago? Anton, man, I want to invest in this condo, bro. Anton, I want to invest in South Florida. Anton, I'm thinking about buying a condo. I said, don't do it. I said, I never tell y'all what to do. I never, ever tell people what to do. I just tell y'all what I think and how I think that things should go and whether or not things is going to play out a certain way. And I said, don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to regret it. But no, man, I think that I've been living here all my life, man. I like it here, bro. It's awesome, blah, 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 blah. I said, don't do it. You are going to suffer. It is going to be bad. The market in South Florida is going to crash, especially if you are in a condo. If you are going to buy a condo in South Florida, anywhere in Florida, you are going to suffer. Don't do it. I told y'all.
This is what we saw last year as well. And the reasons why people are leaving California, they aren't a surprise.
All of those places is crazy.
The cost of living here, especially housing, is through the roof. Taxes are high. And people are concerned about natural disasters like wildfires, social issues like homelessness, and then, of course, the future of the economy. So where are people headed? Well, back east for sure.
Let's see. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Ocala, Florida. I don't even know what Ocala, Florida is. Raleigh, North Carolina, South Carolina, Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Dallas is really sassy, too. I just want to let y'all know that. Let me pivot over here and see something really quickly.
So housing markets in the southeast and the west are seeing more and softer demand, leading to price reductions, whereas people in the northeast continue to tell me that they don't have enough inventory on the market and they're driven by higher income growth and limited supply.
Well, for the first time in more than a decade, the number of U.S. home sellers now dramatically exceeds the number of buyers. That's according.
Remember when Kamala Harris, on her campaign, remember what they were telling us about real estate? I don't know if y'all remember. Does anybody remember what they was telling us about real estate? Kamala Harris? They say the way that they were going to relieve pressure and the way that they were going to solve for inflation and the cost of living was to what? Build 3 million new homes. I want to build 3 million new homes because we have a problem with the inventory levels in the United States of America. I said that to y'all again. I said, family, we don't have an inventory problem. We have an affordability crisis. There's a class war. The class war keeps y'all fighting and arguing about things that didn't mean anything in the first place. There's plenty of homes for sale. There was over 2 million homes for sale during the time that she was running during the election. We did not have an inventory problem. We have an affordability problem. It made no sense for them to take more tax dollars and spend it on garbage that we didn't need in the first place. Because we didn't have the problem that they say that we was having. We have an affordability crisis. So now you see in the housing market starting to suffer. And it's saying that we got 500,000 more sellers than buyers. We have 500,000. That's what the report's saying. We got 500,000 more sellers than buyers. Now, houses in certain areas. And what did I say? Hey, move to this area. Go and invest in this area. Go invest in this area. Houses in certain areas are selling. What do I tell y'all inside of the Patreon about the pricing of houses and what area y'all want to be in?
To a new report from Redfin, the shift in buying power could cause prices to fall. For more on the latest trends in the housing market, let's bring in real estate agent Kirsten Jordan. Kirsten, thanks for joining us this afternoon. You know, you talk about where we were in the middle of the pandemic. It was a story about low inventory, low rates when it came to mortgages. We're in a lot different place now, aren't we?
It is so different right now, and it took us a minute to really adjust to these rates going up. And exactly what they're saying about the difference between what we're seeing in the South versus what we're seeing in the Northeast is that a lot of the insurance rates and in general what we call unsustainable price increases that were going on in the South, we're seeing those come down. And I think that's going to keep happening for a little while.
Yeah, you had a huge swing of people who were clearing out of larger, colder cities, moving to the Sun Belt. Has that slowed down a bit now that you're seeing some of these prices fall? Is that an indication that that move has really occurred?
We're seeing a really big change in this back to work movement, which I know we've been talking about now for years. If you think about it, though, when you're going back to work or if you're in the early parts of your career, the 30s, the 40s, potentially you need to be in person to further your career and get where you want to be. And a lot of those places are in the Northeast. And then obviously there's the elephant in the room, which is the cost of insurance. And as we're seeing in Florida, especially for those affordable homes, those $300,000 to $600,000 under $1 million homes, the actual percentage of the home value and that they're dedicating to insurance costs is unsustainable for so many people, especially those people that are on fixed income.
The number of
There's so many different things that's feeding into the problems that we're going to be facing in the United States of America. It's so many things, so many problems, so many issues. Insurance crisis in Florida and over in California and different parts of the country. Affordability. To think that $300,000 to $600,000 is affordable is crazy, which means that if you can fill a gap, fill a need to make things more affordable, you'll have people that are loyal to you for the rest of your life. It's so many factors, but I think that the market is going to determine who the winners and the losers are. And what do I mean by that? That means that there are people that are leveraging, hedging their bets on being able to sell their home, taking the equity out of their home and all of that stuff. I don't think it's that simple. I don't think that that's simple. I think that unless you see interest rates come down, unless you see Jerome Powell lower interest rates, unless we stop printing money, until we make things more affordable while at the same time reducing spending, you're not going to see any change. You're just going to see it get worse and worse for a lot of people. And then a lot of people are still complaining. They're saying, oh, man, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. What's happening in the housing market? We can't afford nothing and all of this stuff. It's unsustainable. It is unsustainable. So I don't know. I don't see a correction yet, but I do see people leaving certain areas. It's crazy to just think that everybody is leaving California. Everybody is leaving Los Angeles at the same time. I know a lot of business owners that are leaving California, not even brick and mortar, but people that are investing in the real estate industry. They can't wait to sell their properties. Can't wait to sell their properties. I said, why y'all selling your properties? They said, because it's too hard to get people evicted. You know, it could take up to 2 to 3 years to get somebody evicted from your property once they stop paying rent. Not me, though. Not me, though. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats. Let me see what's happening out in these streets. Courtney Eggershow says, what's good, AD? I just wanted to show love, fam. Shout out to you. Aaron L says, underspending on a government contract will guarantee you get paid on the next contract, spending every dime, and you can be at 125% on the next one. That sounds about right. Nate says, land of fruits and nuts and not the produce. The Run is in the building, says, I'm from San Diego and I can confirm we pay for the weather. Some places, $2,500 for a 1-bedroom without a washer and dryer in the hood. $2,500 and y'all can't even wash our clothes? Courtney Egger says, I appreciate you, fam. Shout out to you, bro. Zayo, or Zay00 says, AD, you're not doing a sit-down public panel anymore? Sit-down public panel? What's a sit-down public panel? What's the sit-down public panel, y'all? I don't know what that is. Terrence C.Y. says, hey, Anton, a couple weeks ago I posted I was at $7,800 in student loans and after paying off $56,000, proud to say I'm down to $3,750. Once you pay off that $3,750, continuing to keep the same amount, but you want to start putting it in your brokerage account. Thank you for all of the extra motivation and helping and holding me accountable. I love that. Just a brown girl in America says, I work at a homeless shelter, and all they do is sit around trying to find ways to spend money they didn't use. Also, they are hiding illegals. Yeah, they don't mess around. They try to spend every dime that they can. Let me pivot for a second. Let me see if I can find something that's more Malik-like. There we go. A trans athlete shares the podium over in California, while at the same time, Pride. These Pride parades and the Pride days are getting underfunded based off of what they're saying that they need in order to keep it going. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's see if we can get something up here.
To California now, where a high school trans athlete at the center of a searing political storm went home a winner this weekend. CBS's Elise Preston has that story tonight from Burbank.
Jerika, protests surrounded that high school level competition before it even began. And in the end, a California junior who medaled in 3 events shared her success.
On the podium, 16-year-old A.B. Hernandez was all smiles.
That looked
She's
wild.
the first known competitor at California's track and field state championships to share first place in 2 events. The high school junior, a transgender girl, drew the ire of protesters.
I'm here to save my daughter's future because they're trying to set a precedent. They're trying to push us aside like they always do to women.
And President Trump, who posted on social media this week he would withhold federal funding for the state if Hernandez was allowed to compete. The organization governing high school athletics in California announced a new policy this week, expanding eligibility for athletes assigned female at birth, allowing more teams to play and medal in events in which trans girls compete. She will share medals after placing first in the high jump and triple jump and second in the long jump.
This
Man,
is still
that's crazy.
She is learning. She's navigating the world just like we are every single day. And that I know I would want grace if I was put in a situation where I had a bunch of light on me and what I was doing.
Hernandez addressed her critics directly in an interview earlier this month with the outlet Capital in Maine.
I'm still a child. You're an adult, and for you to act like a child shows how.
Man, that looked
you are
like
as
a
person.
whole dude.
And nothing I can do about people's actions. Just focus on my own.
That looks like a whole man out there, bro. Like, it looks like a grown man. It doesn't just look like a whole man. It looks like a grown man, bro. Nah, that's not right. That's not right. That's not right. We can't have that. We can't have that. That's not right. That doesn't make sense. That is a strong in the face person that should not be running track and field, and that's just my personal opinion. I stand on that. I stand on that. That doesn't make sense. And this is the California that y'all signed up for, right? Ain't this what y'all wanted? I thought that this is what y'all wanted. This is not what y'all wanted?
Now, the U.S. Department of Justice said it would investigate the federation and district that includes Hernandez's high school to determine if they violated federal law. At least 2 states are already facing off with the Trump administration in lawsuits over that very question.
This is demonic. I think that we live in a demonic world, and I don't like it, and it's disrespectful to people, but this is the thing that y'all advocated for. Remember that? We tell women all the time, stay out of it, let us handle it. Malik is a huge advocate and a proponent for this. Malik Two-Turnt, that's his name. Malik Two-Turnt. See, look, anything but Trump is what we want. So he's willing to sell your kids out. He's willing to sell your kids out. Remember this. When you join the Democrat plantation, when you join the Democrat Party, you are an advocate for this. You believe in this. Look, I told him, let me tell you how stupid Malik is. He's not even room 9. He's room 2. This is how dumb Malik is. I said, Malik, I'm going to do a whole section that's dedicated to you because this is right up your alley. And you know what he started doing? Yeah. Start typing all hard. He's excited about this part. He's excited about this part. Anybody that calls themselves a Democrat, this is what you support. I don't care of what your affiliations are. I don't care what you think that your life is like. If you are a Democrat, this is the thing that you supported. And now they taking medals.
ATL is back at Piedmont Park this weekend, but the annual Pride event, like many across the country, is seeing a sharp drop off in corporate support. Atlanta News First senior reporter Patrick Quinn is live from Piedmont Park tonight. Patrick, why the decline here?
Organizers say that some businesses, they simply feel strapped for cash themselves, so they don't feel like they economically can donate to the Pride Run this year. Other businesses are saying that they fear political backlash tied to programming coming from the White House, specifically around DEI and LGBTQ initiatives. These are hurdles that the Pride Run says are facing them this weekend, though the race will go on as scheduled on Sunday. Pride Run ATL pre-race energy is high, but donor support is low. The annual 5K had 45 business donors last year, 25 this year.
We've definitely seen a change, and it's rough, but no matter what, you know.
Why do they always bounce? Why do they always bounce when they talk? I don't understand that part. Look, check it out.
This year.
We've definitely seen a change, and it's rough, but no matter what.
Jesus Lord mercy. I don't even want to be on camera for this part of the show. That's why this is Malik's. I bet you Malik. This is right up Malik's alley. Right up Malik's alley. Why do they bounce? Why do they bounce when they talk?
You know, we are Atlanta. We're going to persevere.
Organizer Troy Newkirk said some former donors are saying no this year, pointing to current economic and political policies from the Trump administration, specifically those targeting funding to diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. And one of their former donors is still supporting, but secretly.
Legal has told them, hey, don't use our name anywhere, don't mention us, take our logos down, things like that.
Less money for Pride events means less money for the LGBTQ groups they support.
That's how we survive.
Milena Alvarez is the executive director of Lost and Found Youth, which supports LGBTQ youth experiencing homelessness. Alvarez had a goal of raising $25,000.
So wait. It's not about people that are homeless. It's not, hey, we're going to make sure that we raise money for homelessness. They segmented themselves again. They separated themselves. Oh, no. This money is for people that identify as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, L, M, N, O, P. And that is how we can make sure that you can survive homelessness. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. I'm so glad that they starting to pull out from these programs that separate us and divide us. If you're homeless and you're sassy, then you're safe. If you're not sassy, but you're homeless, you got to figure it out.
Ahead of the Pride Run. They've only been able to raise a fourth of that.
While the giving may not be as strong as it was last year at this time, the hearts are there.
According to Gravity Research, nationally, roughly 2 in 5 corporations are scaling back Pride Month engagements.
I like
Pride
it.
events in San Francisco and New York City have also reported drop-offs in corporate sponsorship.
I like it.
I reached out to Atlanta Pride, the largest Pride festival in the Southeast. They would not tell me if or how many businesses have backed.
Why is Atlanta, which is largely championed as a predominantly black city, the largest gay pride or pride parade place in the United States of America? Maybe Molly is right. Maybe Molly is right. Maybe most men in Atlanta is sassy. I see y'all cooking Malik in the chat. I see y'all. Maybe Molly is right. Sabrina, Atlanta is very fruity. You hate it there sometimes, big dog?
out, adding in an email.
I heard that the DMV is actually one of the largest. So y'all competing with each other. Wrong competition to be in.
There's still time for many elements to shift, including financial support. Atlanta Pride celebrates its festival in October. Pride Run ATL is this weekend. They're feeling the brunt of LGBTQ backlash now, but won't back down.
This won't be our first fight. It won't be our last, so we'll make it through it.
And Black Pride, it's here in Atlanta at the end of August. Organizers for Black Pride say it's too soon to tell if they're seeing a similar drop-off in donors. And again, Pride Run ATL is here at Piedmont Park on Sunday.
I wonder if the church donated. Now, that would be something to find out. How can you find that out? If the church donated to Pride or Black Pride. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. I don't even want to comment on this more. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I told this girl, she said, Anton, I'm Christian. I said, oh yeah? She said, yeah. I said, so what's going on? And then she said, well, I got to go and visit my cousin, and we going to hang out. And I said, well, what's the problem? It's a male cousin. I said, what? I said, y'all trying to be kissing cousins? She said, no. She said, that's my cousin. I said, okay. She said, but he gay. I said, not with the double G's, not good game. I said, yeah. I said, I said, you about to go hang out with them and do what they want to do? She said, yeah. I said, I thought that you was a believer in Jesus. She said, but that's my family. I said, oh, okay. Oh, okay. I hear you, boo. A 16-year-old Malik is crazy, said DP. Call me Mr. Bibb says, Miss Swan says she looked like a man. ABJ's Wise and Smooth says Malik turned out. That's be nasty. Zay00 says it was a relationship podcast and it was a panel of people there with you, including 2K and a light-skinned girl that was sometimes loud. Oh, you talking about Let's Rant About It. Shout out to Let's Rant About It. 392Q says Malik, two trains. Courtney Yeager show in the building says, let me guess, no father in the house? Probably not. I wouldn't doubt it. Raider Gaines in the building. Shout out to Raider Gaines. Raider Gaines says, have you seen the outrage over Job Corp being temporarily paused? Lips playing victim while the Department of Labor stated nearly 15,000 students were acting out. Props to Trump for doing what's... Yeah, I heard about that. I seen it on my timeline. 392Q. Shout out to 392Q says Malik too cooked. DVG says can't be busting up backs and homeless. Pick a gross. 392Q says thoughts on Kobe's wife being pregnant. That was a rumor. I researched that. I couldn't find nothing on that. Couldn't find anything on that, big dog. I think that was just a rumor. Got to be a rumor. We can talk about it on After Hours, though. Not Napoleon, but Napoleon says, your content is life-changing. Thank you, AD. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Quinn says, be nice. All right, so I'm going to let y'all choose. The next thing that we talk about. We could either talk about... They said it's a debate online about whether or not men are drowning in women or they're lonely. Or we could talk about Job Corp. I know what I want to talk about. Men drowning in women or lonely, and a large part of that having to do with finances. Or we can talk about Job Corp. Which one y'all want to talk about? Job Corps, drowning, most lonely, I heard. I don't care about Job Corps, indifferent, Job Corps. All right, look like they want to talk about Job Corps. Let's talk about Job Corps. See if I can get it up. Why y'all like Job Corps so much? See if I can get this up here. Job Corps, huh? That's what y'all want to talk about?
But first on Fox, a sudden shakeup by the Department of Labor is sending shockwaves through youth workforce programs across the country, and the ripple effect is hitting some families hard here in our area. Fox 2's Taylor Harris reports from one local center where people were upset and confused tonight.
We've been outside the St. Louis Job Corps Center for hours on Friday, and what we've been seeing is truly heartbreaking. Students have been escorted off campus by security, many with all of their belongings, while concerned family members rushed to pick them up. Security told us we aren't allowed on the property without regional approval, and employees can't speak on camera. But the emotional toll playing outside the gates is impossible to ignore. By June 30th, the U.S. Department...
Y'all said women used to get it in Job Corps? The girls used to get it in the job. What? Y'all was busting it down for a real one in Job Corps? Tell me y'all wasn't busting it down for a real one in Job Corps. That would be crazy if y'all was busting it down for a real one in Job Corps.
of Labor is pausing operations at all contractor operator Job Corps centers, including here in Missouri. The Department of Labor says this is due to a $213 million deficit, rising safety concerns, and low graduation rates. However, the move puts nearly 200 jobs at risk and displaces hundreds of students who rely on this facility for stability, training, and a future. One of those students is Alpharetta Wigley's grandson. She left her daughter's hospital bedside to come pick him up.
We can't afford it. His mama is fighting cancer right now.
Wait. So Job Corps, I thought that Job Corps was just like you going to try to get training and vocational training or whatever it is that you get training for so that you can wind up finding a job. What do you mean? What is she talking about?
To come pick him up.
We can't afford it. His mama is fighting cancer right now. My daughter is in there right now. I was at the hospital with my daughter. He called me, come and pick him up. I don't know what to do.
She says her grandson had stayed on the right path, committed to building a future.
It hurts me because all he do is go to school and try to, learn and try to get a career.
So they have a campus for Job Corps? You said it's ghetto, Jordan? Is Job Corps ghetto? Connie says Job Corps is nothing but a gang breeding ground now. Is it that ghetto? They messed up Job Corps?
He can get a scholarship so he can get a good job.
Inez Dickerson dropped her granddaughter off just 3 weeks ago with hopes of her becoming
they're using
a nurse.
it as a housing.
Now she says her granddaughter may have to find a job instead of pursuing that dream.
I don't understand that. This is what they need to keep themselves out of trouble.
Her granddaughter was just months away from moving to a nursing program.
No, they.
So let me ask this other question. When did it becomes the federal government's responsibility to make sure that your kid was taken care of? You thought so too? You never heard anything good about it, Night Jade? When did it become the federal government's responsibility to make sure that you got a house and all of that? I thought that was the parents' responsibility.
They don't have a nursing school.
And they said that it's a low graduation turnout rate.
Once she had finished this school for 6 months, they was going to send her out of town for the schooling for nursing. So now I don't know what she going to do.
Reporting from outside the St. Louis Job Corp Center.
All right, let me look at it from another lens real quick. Let me see something.
Some students say it feels like a dark cloud over their head. The U.S. Department of Labor pausing operations at Job Corps centers around the country.
I feel like the battle was kind of lost before we started fighting, but
A lot
I
of
feel
y'all
like
saying
if
that
there's any
it's a bad
hope,
problem.
then we should exhaust every single avenue.
Kaylin Noel came to Earl C. Clements Job Corps Center in Morganfield in 2023 and says it changed his outlook on life.
It's not the land of milk and honey by any means, but it's the land of opportunity.
Job Corps has been around
That's a
for
future
over
Umar
60
Johnson
years.
right there. That might be a future Umar Johnson right there.
And serves low-income students who want to further their education and career. Students receive hands-on experience needed to get a career or apprenticeship and go to college or the military for free. Many students we spoke with say the center was their last hope.
I have behavior and mental health issues.
Did she say she got behavioral and mental health issues?
Was their last hope.
I have behavior and mental health issues back in before I came to Job Corp, but ever since I came to Job Corp, it helped me to create this new person. Like,
I know how to solve for that. What'd you say again? Tell me one more time what you got. Tell me what you had.
We spoke with say the center was their last hope.
I have behavior and mental health issues.
Okay. All right. Got behavioral issues. So you acting up in class? So you got behavior issues. You don't know how to control yourself. You don't know how to clean your room. You want to show out for the teacher. You want to make the teacher's life difficult. No. Put your hands on that wall real quick. Both hands. You gonna block it? Oh, you think you tough? Oh, you a good one, huh? You want to show out in front of your little friends, huh? Because they ain't got no parents. They out there just trying to figure it out. They looking for attention. You got all of this good loving at home, and you getting all of these good meals and stuff like. You getting all it. You want to be tough for you. I don't want to be tough no more. No, I'm a good kid. I know. And guess what? We gonna drive the devil far, far from thee. You know what the word says? Huh? Yeah. No. Something wrong with my leather. The leather ain't leathering the way that it. Hold on, let me see. There we go. Yeah. Get your black butt back in school and act like you got some sense, and you better sit in the front of the class. And if I hear one more thing from your teacher, then ain't no god dog Job Corps. You don't need no Job Corps. That was the devil. I'm gonna wear this around my neck. Is your room clean? Okay. You know what? Let me tell you what we used to get. When we was young, And she'd be like, hey, make sure your room is clean or whatever. Come back, room not clean. All right. Nah, this is a real story. Room not clean? Oh, okay. She gonna be sitting there waiting like this. You don't think you did nothing wrong because you forgot you ain't clean your room? What's going on, mama? I want you to get every item in there. And we'd be like, what? What do you mean get every item? Get every item. You're going to get a lick for everything that's out of place and on the floor. We said, oh, God. About then dad right then and there. About then dad right then and there. Real talk. I went to a birthday party this weekend. Somebody had brought their little kid. Now, I watched this kid get born and all of that junk, right? And, you know, I usually wait till the kid can walk and talk and all of that before I start getting involved. Because, you know, everybody be, you know, reaching for the kid and all of that stuff. I seen a kid slap their parent. I said, they said, don't you hit me. And it was a black woman. A black woman got slapped by her own kid. Don't you? I told you. Kid said, I said, I started to take my belt off my. Anybody got a belt here? We got to fix this kid. We got to fix him. Fix the kid before the kid get too grown for their own good. I'm going to save your life. Oh, no. You're not going to be an unruly woman when you grow up. You're also not going to be a feminist. You're not going to be a modern woman. We're going to fix all of that right here, right now. So get the strap. Get the strap.
Back in before I came to Job Corp, but ever since I came to Job Corp, it helped me to.
You need to go to Job Corp. You need to go live off on a campus. Get your life together.
Create this new person, like changing my aspect of life.
There are around 100 Job Corps nationwide. The one in Morganfield is the second largest. It employs over 300 people and serves hundreds of students. Closing it, parents say, will not only impact their kids, it will impact the community.
With the flooding and the tornado and the ice storm, and Job Corps has been there, the students, not only manpower to feed people.
Looks like everybody got to start parenting their kids again. Look like it. Yeah, I know, Rod. We're not going to pay attention to that. Look like everybody got to start parenting their kids again. What? You got to start actually being there for your kid and talking to them and taking them back and forth to school and having a participation in their life instead of participation trophies?
And move sandbags, but, you know, it's got such deep roots in our community.
President Trump's recent budget request eliminates Job Corps, saying it has been a failed experiment to help America's youth and calls it financially unsustainable. Although students say they feel sad, they remain optimistic.
These budget cuts, what they're going to mean for everybody is that things are going to have to change.
This must be in Chicago. Is this in Chicago? I remember seeing this guy before. Does he talk like Brandon Johnson? Is this in Chicago? Stop having kids that you can't take care of. Stop having kids and letting the federal government raise them for you. Let me tell you what Job Corps has long been. Job Corps has gotten billions of dollars, and Job Corps is basically a job funnel for the administrators, not necessarily doing anything good for the kids. It's got to be in Chicago. Let me see. Where is this at? Is this in Chicago? They got 50,000 videos on this news station. 50,000 videos and only 53,000 subscribers. That's crazy. Some of these videos is getting 6 views. Somebody need to fix their YouTube channel. 6 views? 6 views? 7 views? This is a waste of time. Anyways, Yeah, man, I think that a lot of these programs, sometimes y'all got to go through the numbers, man. The numbers ain't numbering. The numbers ain't making sense to me. But yeah, sometimes you got to eliminate these programs and force people to parent their children again. We just not going to fund them forever. We not. A lot of these programs is just there in order to make in order to make sure that I don't know who that is. In order to make sure that these administrators continue to get paid. That's all. Anyways, Ski Report says, sound like your channel? Essence of Erica says, I just attended Job Corp while in high school, received my diploma in a trade, and was paid $200 once I graduated. Okay, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Oh, Rod, don't get emotional. The chat is going to chat, baby. The chat is going to chat, Rod on politics. Don't be like that. You gotta put that feminine energy down, bro. Got to put that feminine energy down. Anyways, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. We got a live stream tonight at 7 p.m. I need to take a nap. I need to take a nap on the low. Anyways, yeah, man. Let's get it in. Q show tonight. We get it popping. And we got the Patreon at 7. All right? 7 Eastern. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.